Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at gcnlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Watch the greenbacks tumble.
Everyone all set, cocked, locked. Here we go. Your dial's set correctly to USAPrepares.com. We're delighted you're here. Broadcasting 2 hours from high atop the Missouri Ozark Mountains. If you'd like to join us, you may call in. We'll pay for the call. 866-582-9933. 866-582-9933. I've got the call screen in front of me here at the farm in the studio, so I can see when you call in. And Lance will put you right on the call screen, and I'll be able to take your call. There's a link to all of your instructors on the website, usaprepares.com. I'm Vincent Finelli. Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us. Welcome, Rick.
Good morning. Yeah, I've got your great chickened out Great Thorns here, and I wanted her to tell you, Vincent, you better be careful. You're walking in on a hornet's nest. But she, and now is hiding in the kitchen.
Hey, Rick, you're talking.
I'm just trying to cause trouble.
Hey, Rick, I was very concerned about this H5N1
virus.
bird.
Yeah, the bird. Yeah, that's avian bird flu. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very concerned about it. First it was 10,000 birds.
Are you sick, Vincent?
Huh?
Are you sick right now?
No, not at all.
Why are you talking about it then? No, I noticed the thing in your voice a little different.
Well, you know what it is? I just got off the air. Sam Bushman invited me to be on, sit in the co-pilot seat of his broadcast a few minutes ago. So I had to get my farm things done earlier, so up a little earlier than usual. But I'm just fine here. No, I do not have.
And you're at the farm. You're not in Utah.
No, I'm at the farm.
Okay. Yeah.
So anyway, this bird flu is a concern to me, and they're killing. First it was thousands of birds, and then tens of thousands, and then hundreds of thousands, and now it's in the millions, way in the millions, like 30 something million birds. Now, that's a huge problem. First of all, we have that we have an outdoor wood furnace, and if a calf dies in the winter and the ground is frozen, we can't bury the calf, and we don't want the coyotes to come and attack the rest of the herd. So what we do is once we're absolutely certain that the calf is dead, in the outdoor wood furnace the calf goes. And if a chicken dies, same thing. Well,
cremation.
The cremation of 30 million birds is a huge problem.
Well, that's
the burial
of spreading.
The burial of 30 million birds is a problem. So I'm concerned about, first of all, where did this come from? Okay, is it man-made? I have my suspicions.
By the way, it's a kissing flu. The birds peeping. It's mating season, so there they go.
I met Len Horowitz many years ago, Dr. Len Horowitz, and he was talking about AIDS and Ebola and how it's man-made. And there were two tracks. One was with monkeys, and the other was with chickens. And I'm thinking, wow, you know what? I'm really suspicious that this bird influenza is a bioweapon that got out.
Welcome to Apollo and the destroyer, and Enlil from the Anunnaki. Yep.
So
that
do you think
open? Go anywhere you want with that. That ought to play.
Rick, so are you saying that you think that this bird influenza is man-made?
Yes, it is, and I got it. I have never been. It's crossed over. There you go. That's the first thing. And I didn't do tongue kissing with a bird. So how did I get it?
Okay, so what we're saying is that we've moved from one species to another. Is that what you're saying? And this was
jump genuses, not species. Jump genuses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's more precise. Yes.
Okay, and so we went from chicken to human.
That's where the H5N2 virus and 3A and 4. There's a whole variety of them are jumping and crossbreeding. Why is that? How does that work? Well, it has to do with blood types and an unknown fourth genome. And so there's what they call, like in computer software, backdoors, in the way it can slide in and do something else. And I'm lucky to have survived it. Now, that's because I don't live in India and had friends around me that just let me go down for a while I burned it out, with fever and things. It's creepy. I had mononucleosis, and I almost failed out of University of Washington in my freshman year doing, finals. It was awful. And this was much worse and much longer.
So
what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Hey, Rick, are you saying that this is a great way to reduce the amount of oxygen that's consumed on the planet?
You mean no more logging of the Amazon? Yeah, I don't know because my pay grade doesn't get me into those doors.
Rick, when you say your pay grade doesn't,
they're across the board. And the right one don't get you, the left one will. And I owe my soul to the company store. There you go. It's we're being assaulted by something. Yes.
I was down near the Mexican border many years ago, and I met a man who worked his family worked at a copper mine.
Yeah.
And that company store thing is absolutely true. So you get this job at the copper mine, and heck, you need some tools. You need some hand tools.
Yeah.
Yep. You need hand tools. You need protective gear. You need a hard hat. You need a respirator. You need all these things.
You need Medicare. You need da-da-da.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah. And you don't have to pay for it. You don't have to pay for it. You just go to the company store and you charge it. And it goes against your account. And you're stuck because you owe so much money to the company store that you can't quit. I mean, you're a slave. You're an economic slave to the company store by buying the things that you need to keep your job. Yeah. So I met a man who
with a bookkeeper and then do an assassination. That takes care of everybody. That's what we're doing with spacecraft. What did they do? Oh, they called that Independence Day. You infiltrate. The whole thing is not as we think it is. And there's other things going on such levels that right now, the physical virus, that one, H5N1, actually had more danger to it in the emotional level than just the physical. In fact, most people that had it felt like they were being attacked emotionally. That's a multi-level attack going on, just like we've had a multi-level invasion. It's not happening on a physical plane. We're having to become more sophisticated in the way we see what's happening around us.
Rick, how do we...
Welcome to the New World Order.
Rick, how do we live in a society where we're being attacked by the people who have pledged to protect us? How do we live in a society? I'm talking about people who have taken an oath to the Constitution to protect and defend from enemies, both foreign and domestic. And so we have
that oath keepers, most of them that are oath keepers, that really believe in, is this your America? This is not my America. Imagine how I might feel about SEAL Unit 6 and what they've done. It's no longer my country as I served and protect. It's different. And the game rules have changed. And because of that, so I must die. And that's the they call that evolution. You know, de-evolution, whatever. It's going in one direction or another, who knows. And in fact, we're having to grow up. And it's why you talk about true will, not free will. Free will means you have full disclosure. You know the viruses, you know where they came from, da-da-da-da-da-da. Those universes are gone, baby, gone. And so today we have a need to be closer as humanity as far as getting further apart. And so you don't get to opt and choose who you're in the bunker with. You don't even know your neighbors. You know, you don't know if they're creepies or whatever they are. They could be anything. And so... And
we're getting stupid. We really are. Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. In Springfield, Missouri, Fukushima went off and we reported it and we said, this is dangerous and there's radiation in the air. And I mean, it's really a bad situation. And, I ran across this family and they were all excited because, they were, associated with a church, a Christian church. And a bunch of young people are going to go to Japan and they're going to do an event in Japan. And one of the guys is the photographer and he's all excited. He's going to take some pictures. And I said, have you lost your mind? Do you know what's going on in Japan? And yeah, but it's okay. Everybody, and it's this herd, it's the herd mentality, Rick.
Listen, just flying to Japan is going to give you lethal doses of radiation. Just being that high up in the atmosphere. People don't get that either. Right. So we have this... there's all kinds of risks, and you have to do level assessment. We're at DEFCON 4. Dive. Sovereignty, going more independent with self, is your first batch in the war, battle, or whatever battlefield there is. L. Ron Hubbard, another OTOer like me, it's not happening on a physical plane. It's happening on multidimensionals. The H5N1 virus takes you down emotionally. You don't want to live. You don't care. That part is how you structure water, and that's the part that heals you.
Hold that thought. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit guns80.com, guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Making the right decisions is a challenge to investors. Are we going to see economic growth, slide into a recession, or at worst, depression? Hi, Ted Anderson from Midas Resources. We all know when a company acts irresponsibly, divesting ourselves in a move towards safety is prudent. When the market becomes volatile, U.S. Treasuries are a safe haven. But what do you do when the U.S. government overextends itself and spends beyond its means? Many investors are turning toward gold as a common-sense alternative to traditional paper investments. Midas Resources has put together a powerful book titled 10 Reasons to Own Gold, discussing costs, benefits, risks, featuring full-color illustrations, weights, and measures. The book is free and can be yours by calling 800-686-2237. Paper investments are dwarfed by gold's 6,000-year history. Discover how gold may be right for you and your IRA by calling 800-686-2237. Whether buying or it's time for you to sell, the book is free. Call 800-686-2237.
You've heard them on Alex Jones. You've seen them on Ancient Aliens. Now come see them live at Contact in the Desert 2015 in Joshua Tree this May. Experience 4 full days of science-centered lectures, workshops, intensives, and fieldwork on ancient astronauts, extraterrestrial intelligence, human origins, crop circles, contact experiences, UFO sightings, and more. Meet Chariots of the Gods author Eric von Daniken, Ancient Aliens host Giorgio A. Tsoukalos, New York Times bestselling author David Wilcock, Dead Doctors Don't Lie author Dr. Joel Wallach, astronauts Edgar Mitchell and Story Musgrave, Earth Files publisher Linda Moulton Howe, author Jim Mars, and many of the world's most respected researchers and scientists exploring answers to one of the greatest questions of all time. More speakers, more panels, more things to do. Join us at the Joshua Tree Retreat Center, which has a long history of sightings and contact experiences. For advance tickets and conference schedule, go to contactinthedesert.com. That is contactinthedesert.com.
If the IRS has garnished your paycheck or seized money from your bank account, you need to get professional tax help now. Fast action is required to put a halt to these aggressive IRS collection tactics. You can count on the knowledgeable team of tax professionals at Wall & Associates. With over 30 years of experience, Wall & Associates has settled the tax problems of thousands of taxpayers for a small fraction of what they owed. For a free face-to-face consultation, call 1-800-425-4610 to put a wall between you and the IRS. 1-800-425-4610 or look for us on the web at wallandassociates.net. We solve tax problems. If you hire Wall & Associates today, you'll never have to talk to the IRS again. To stop the levies and seizures today, take action now. Call Wall & Associates at 1-800-425-4610. Wall & Associates, 1-800-425-4610. Based on actual cases, results may vary, not a solicitation for legal service.
Rick, we were talking about H5N1, and you were mentioning that you just might not have the will to live. Now, Dr. Norman Shealy talks about that, and he says that, if you really don't have the will to live, your chances of survival, some disease and infection are lowered. So if you have a will to live and you have a purpose and you're positive about it, your chances of coming out of it are much, much greater. Well, what you just said was that with this H5N1 influenza, that there's less desire to live. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what I experience. I don't know. I have no way to measure that. Just like certain phenomena in physics can't be measured with space-time. Now, everything's measured in space and time. That's quantum universes. So what's happened is we have now moved to another level of our awareness, having to incorporate things that don't fit in our current universe. The H5N1 virus is it's an influenza. You're correct. It's not a virus. It's an influenza, which is different. And this one, there's an H5N2, by the way, too, just page 2 on that one. This one is really hard. I didn't care. And I noted that Julie, my girlfriend, it was the one that put me on. She's more centered or more aware of certain kinds of things internally than I am. And I appreciate, that's why she's my girlfriend. I'm trying to change and, make that kind of transition. And so I have things to learn from her. However, there's other things going on that we have not yet decided, have vocabulary. So how do we articulate them? Now, in France, witch burnings and the churches burning witches and all of that, that was because of an ergot outbreak in the bakeries. Every single aberrance. And here's the bad news. A friend of mine wrote that book, and the last chapter proved that the Catholic Church knew about it 100 years earlier, knew that it was coming from ergot, not it was Satan. Now, how's that play? And so I think there's going to be the last pope and the end of religions, per se, because churches are primarily for fellowship, and what we have now going on is a bunch of charismatics running the shows, and they're creepy and dysfunctional just like everybody else is. And it's time for accountability, and the only person you're accountable to is yourself. And you said it really important when you said it was about purpose. Purpose, if you don't have an identification of why you're here, why would you want to be here? And da-da-da. And so the metaphor goes across the board in your relationship to self. And the viruses are booby traps, cow pies. You got to be careful. Now, the good news is cow pies also grow mushrooms. So there it is. You have choices, and you can determine how to navigate these illnesses, because we're all getting exposed to all kinds of creepy things. This chemtrail is probably how it vectored. You know, I don't know how that works, but something in Missouri got in here in Oregon or something like that, metaphor, and it crossed, with airplanes and AIDS. You know, AIDS was vectored. They actually figured out where AIDS came from. It came from Cuba originally as a bestiality. It was airline steward. He was gay, and he had sex with a pig. And because of that, it vectored across, and then the 60s were over, and there was no such thing as free love anymore. So I don't know what's really going on. It's stay tuned. Film at 11. Will Batman save Robin? Will Robin be able to? Same bat channel.
Rick, Dr. Len Horowitz told me that that AIDS came from, well, it was engineered. It was engineered by through a contract by the U.S. government to develop a surgically deliverable weapon for which there was no cure. And
then it's just and then they went out and killed all the biochemists. Remember?
Yeah. Hold that thought.
A whole big rash of biochemists that had.
By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows. Pause and rewind live TV. Even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
You pick up the receiver with your heart racing and sweat dripping from your forehead. You finally muster the courage to dial the number to call into your favorite talk radio show. It rings once, twice, and then...
Hello, it's GCN. What's your name and the state you're calling from?
Surprised you got through, you squeak out.
Jason from Minnesota.
Please hold.
As you patiently wait for your turn, you begin to daydream about being a famous talk radio host and what it would be like to have your own show.
Jason from Minnesota, you're up.
Millions of loyal listeners worldwide waiting to call and talk to you.
Caller, are you there?
Cheering crowds surround you, calling out your name.
Jason, Jason,
Going once, twice. Okay, we gotta move on to the next caller.
You blew it.
Huh? Wait, no!
Interact with the hosts you're listening to right now, online at GCNlive.com. Click on the community link. Engage with other listeners. Ask questions. Start debates. Don't agree with the host? Let them know. Be a part of the community at GCNlive.com.
For over 5 years, you've been hearing about the Berkey guy, so you may know a few things about him. For example, you are well aware of the superior quality and effectiveness of Berkey water filters and accessories. But did you know the Berkeys have had independent lab tests done to prove just how effective they are? It's true, and he can email you the test results. Just visit goberkey.com. You may also know that the Berkey guy has helped tens of thousands of people get better prepared. Now here's something you may not know. GoBerkey.com has amazing specials and deals all the time on a wide variety of survival and preparedness products. Most ready to ship same day. Visit the Berkey guy at goberkey.com and be sure to click the red Products on Sale Now button. You can always call toll-free 877-886-3653. Again, that's 877-886-3653. goberkey.com, home of the Berkey guy.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Why do over 50% of North Americans suffer from some form of chronic ailment? Could it be due to a toxic overload? It's time to take back your life. Get the lead out as well as the cadmium, mercury, and calcium. Extendovite is a garlic cayenne supplement with 5 other herbs that acts like a natural Drano, cleaning out the stored toxins, restoring your energy and youthfulness that we've lost. If you would like to live your life free of sickness, pain, or fear, then Extendovite is for you. Available in either capsules or liquid, you too can see why Extendovite is the #1 heart drop available. To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us, richardallenmiller.com, richardalenmiller.com. Rick, I just posted on the website, usaprepares.com, AIDS manufactured by the government, Dr. Len Horowitz. So we have, and there's a short video if you'd like to watch it. I'm sorry, Rick, I missed that.
Yeah, I know. Which government manufactured it?
Well, that's a good point. And what he told me, one-on-one, actually Mrs. Finelli was there, he said that our government, Henry Kissinger, was involved. He's the godfather
Kissinger.
Yeah.
Isn't he a Zionist?
Yeah.
He's not Judaic. He was a Zion. What is the difference?
You know, I'll tell you what, Aaron Dakins would be a great person to discuss these differences between, what Zionists really are. And I'm going to invite her to come on and we can talk about this. But
talk about
Henry
that. That'd
Kissinger,
be a really interesting. I don't know what the differences are.
Okay.
What is the 1,000-year Nazi War? What was that about?
Okay. Well, Henry Kissinger was interested in a weapon that could be surgically, precise, that could kill people, for which there'd be no cure. And so it was manufactured in conjunction with the government, that would be the U.S. government, in a biolab, and a guy by the name of Dr. Robert Gallo was involved. There was another man, another scientist, who was working with chickens. So there were two tracks. One was the monkey track, and the other was the chicken track. And you've got to ask yourself, based on what we know, did AIDS come from green monkeys? Yeah. Yeah, and who provided those green monkeys? Well, according to Dr. Len Horowitz, it was Litton Bionetics, a company, I guess it's no more, it's not around anymore, Litton Industries. Well, anyway, so we have these monkeys.
Out of the Cayman Islands.
Yeah, so the monkeys, AIDS did come from monkeys. But it was because the monkeys were used to develop
my research
AIDS.
vectored it to pigs, but it had to do with bestiality.
Okay. Well, maybe there's another track, okay, with pigs, and maybe that's why there's so much.
Two of them, probably.
And maybe that's why there's so much interest in killing pigs, and why governments
my goodness, now we're getting down, huh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, because Mark Baker, a USA Prepares instructor, owns a farm called Baker's Green Acres, and the DNR in Michigan, where his farm is, came down on him, fined him $700,000 for raising these feral pigs. And he challenged it and fought it and ultimately won. But how did he win? Well, what he did was he exposed the corruption. He said he took a page out of our book. And our book is, well, what you do is when you're attacked by the government, you get the business card, you get the picture, and you expose that agent of the government who is attacking you. And you publicize it, and you make them famous on YouTube. You make them famous on websites. You talk about them on alternative radio. You expose who they are, and immediately they can't stand it, because instead of being the big hammer that smacks you down, now they're being exposed as who they are, and their neighbors know who they are, and they're talked about in church, in the grocery store where they live, and now they've been illuminated to the point where they can't stand it, and they ultimately back down. And that's what happens. And that's how we do it here at USA Prepare. So when we are attacked, like Steve Angle, who was attacked in his own home by the Hays City cops, what we do is we expose Hays City, Kansas. And maybe Steve won't go to jail, but maybe the cops who beat him up will go to jail. Wouldn't that be nice? So anyway, AIDS, Rick, here's my concern. We are manufacturing these weapons of mass destruction. And our government talks about other countries having weapons of mass destruction. I believe we are the leaders in the development and the production and the armaments of mass destruction. That being the case.
So I'm going to take a left turn here as an important vector and say to you that I was talking to some of my military friends, and they told me last week that all higher forms of government have within the organizations occult fanatics that are doing rituals to change the universe. And that there is a group of religious zealots at CERN that are trying to change and make happen biblical prophecy. And what they're doing in this case, it's the same thing as cross-cultural species and jumping genomes. They are attempting to open a portal to allow Apollo back on Earth. Now, that's the destroyer. That's, the Shiva. And, who is it? Who wrote, he was a writer that was against Truman Capote. What was that? Norman Mailer. Norman Mailer wrote a book about that, and an aircraft before it actually happened. Talked about this kind of a virus thing. And I can't remember the title of that book. Memory serves me, though. It was really interesting. I always remembered him as slightly different than Norman than Truman Capote. We have something going on here that nobody has defined yet. And I don't know where it's all leading, except my litany, and I'm hitting myself over the head with a number 8 flat iron skillet now and saying, everything happens for a reason, and everything leads to something better. And if you take that approach as your foundation, conscious one, it will set up fields within yourself that will allow evolving toward purpose. And purpose, while you're here, is what the name of the game is. Because you, metaphor, chose to stick yourself down here in purgatory to do something important. And right now, there is a war going on for the mind and soul of Earth. And it all starts with your relationship to self. And if you don't have that part, you're in trouble. And so that's where we have to start, not religion. It's about spirituality, and the idea, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And so you have Christians that are going to get turned off, and I would ask, why is that? In terms of personal growth, if you're centered in yourself, you have no doubts in those forms, and allows you to focus on what is important. And it's different for each of us because that's God's will. That's why we're down here. We're not as evolved as God, where we're everything and we know the truth. And that's the deal. And so the fact that you were born in rural America would automatically set up a series of limitations on your worldview. And once that's happening, now you have to fight your way out of the mire because you're less than zero. Just like in the movie. You have to come back to center before, and choose your own values. And use them as tools, not God-given truths. A belief is a tool. And that's why Navy SEALs were using that metaphor, because that's how you survive. I mean, if you're a Christian and you went into Iraq, what do you think's going to happen? Get yourself killed. And you can't allow your belief to get her done, to do what you're supposed to do. And if you have made a commitment, allegiance, and this is not my America. And so my allegiance, and why I'm considered an outlaw icon, is to myself. I'm not a criminal. If I hurt someone, it's me. And I'm doing that with purpose and direction because, sometimes you have to do what you have to do to get her done. Take the bullet for someone else, that kind of thing. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Rick, you mentioned that Christians are turned off, and I've got to agree with that. And here's where I'm confused. There was a time when we would turn to the church in times of crisis, in times of peril. We would turn to the church and we would pray, and we would look toward leadership. What's happening today seems to be the exact opposite. Maybe I'm just confused. Maybe I don't understand. But it seems to me that fewer and fewer people are turning to the church because the church has failed them. Now, I'm not saying they're turning away from God necessarily, and their belief system, but I think they're turning away from that institution that we call, church, down the street, down the road, where we go every Sunday or every Sunday, every Friday, every Monday, every Wednesday. I think we're turning away from that. Are you seeing that too?
I don't know. I try not to hang out in those circles as much as possible. It's all around me. It's not as prevalent as your Bible Belt. Grace is Seventh-day Adventist, and she's one of the more limber. I like the interlinear version of the Bible. I think it allows a broader stretch, even in its refining of defining the difference between charity and love. Charity is not love. And Greek interlinear Bible makes a major difference, distinction on that. And most Christians don't. And so love is contaminated because our Greece and that civilization was actually more evolved spiritually than the current one we enjoy. We have more technology, but spirituality is a form of technology if you get into cybernetic anthropology. And so there are crosses that are being bared by choice, not given. And once you have the choice of choosing to stay in that one place over others,
okay, hold that thought. Hold that thought. We're going into a break. Dr. Richard Allen Miller. I'm Vin Finelli. By now, you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration system and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Gold. It's like nothing else on Earth. From the Romans through the Renaissance, from the Industrial Age to the Space Age, gold has weathered the test of time. For 6,000 years, gold has remained the ultimate store of wealth. According to the World Gold Council and the U.S. Mint, demand is at an all-time high. The stage is being set for the reemergence of gold as the common-sense alternative to a fiat paper currency that gets weaker every day. Midas Resources is proud to offer the hard-hitting report that arms you with the truth you need to protect you and your family from the Fed's plans for your hard-earned money. Don't gamble with your future. Call Midas Resources today and ask for your free copy of As Good as Gold. Call 1-800-686-2237 for the report the Fed hopes you'll never see. As Good as Gold can be yours by calling 800-686-2237. If you have ever thought about owning gold, you must read this report. Call Midas today at 800-686-2237.
Did you know that drinking pure, high alkaline water is one of the most important factors in maintaining high energy and vibrant health? Most experts agree that the water you drink should be at a pH level of 8 or higher. AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops, available only at alkavision.com, combine a unique formula of only the most alkaline minerals. AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops alkalize your water, ridding the body of harmful toxins, and helps you regain health and energy. Alkalizing your water by simply adding 10 drops of AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops helps the body rid itself of acidic waste, increases oxygen content, and raises the pH of your body to healthy levels. And bacteria and viruses cannot survive in an alkaline high pH environment. Order your bottle of AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops for only $29.95 at alkavision.com. That's ALKAvision.com. Or call 269-409-1776. 269-409-1776. Alkalize your body. Supercharge your health at alkavision.com today.
You've heard them on Alex Jones. You've seen them on Ancient Aliens. Now come see them live at Contact in the Desert 2015 in Joshua Tree this May. Experience 4 full days of science-centered lectures, workshops, intensives, and fieldwork on ancient astronauts, extraterrestrial intelligence, human origins, crop circles, contact experiences, UFO sightings, and more. Meet Chariots of the Gods author Eric von Daniken, Ancient Aliens host Giorgio A. Tsoukalos, New York Times bestselling author David Wilcock, Dead Doctors Don't Lie author Dr. Joel Wallach, astronauts Edgar Mitchell and Story Musgrave, Earth Files publisher Linda Moulton Howe, author Jim Mars, and many of the world's most respected researchers and scientists exploring answers to one of the greatest questions of all time. More speakers, more panels, more things to do. Join us at the Joshua Tree Retreat Center, which has a long history of sightings and contact experiences. For advance tickets and conference schedule, go to contactinthedesert.com. That is contactinthedesert.com.
KDArmor.com is your one-stop shop for the most affordable body armor, period. With packages starting at $169.99 and free shipping on every order. KD offers soft armor and rifle threat rated armor up to level 4. Go to KDArmor.com and get your body armor today while you still can. Mention this ad and receive a free tactical scarf for a limited time with any body armor package. That's CATIarmor.com. Come and take it.
So Mark and I are out at the range shooting our AR-15 rifles built from AR-15 kits from Guns80.com when Dave walks up and he says, "Hey, did you guys hear about Jade Helm? You know, the government doesn't care about the Posse Comitatus Act, and Jade Helm, the troops are going to come and they may come after us and blah, blah, blah." And I'm thinking, oh my God, dude, look, I take a 30-shot magazine, I put it in my AR-15 built from a kit from Guns80.com, I unload it on the target. Jade Helm? I mean, really? Guns80.com, Guns80.com, Guns80.com. Go now.
So, Rick, we've been talking about H5N1, and we've been talking about the will to live, and it seems to me...
I have a friend that I've just recently met that's visiting, that's quantum botany, how does that work? And that's his background. And he just looked up H5N2. That's an interesting tangent. And guess what? The whole thing is on Matrix, just like in the movies. And the crossing of metaphors in what blood means and what it does not mean in the body. So I don't have answers now. I'm just like blind leading the blind. The way I got rid of all of it was a lot of potassium. I took electrolytes. And that seems to be an extremely important first layer of defense. Belief systems, number 2. The electrolytes and the sodium and potassium transfer that Kervan and others have mentioned is where cold fusion occurs in the body. And you start with the invention of universes inside yourself. That's ATP. And so if you can start with adenosine triphosphate, that's where your belief systems start the regeneration of the restructuring of water in your body as a metaphor. And so you eat pharmaceutical mushrooms. And I'm supposed to plug this now like you do, Keone, and say that Adele Chandler has just started a new business and would like to pick up where I left off in marketing pharmaceutical mushrooms. This will actually give you a first layer of defense. You're still going to have to do the work. But at least now you have some foods that have not been they have been genetically modified. GMOs are not bad. We do that. Nature does that by called climatization. Where you have cultivars, ones that adapt to a certain region, and they are more functional in some regions than others. And we have a new, quinoa or some of these other new grains, that we're trying to explore. I don't know the answers to this thing, but it starts with training your mind to form the relationship of a belief to your purpose. That's where the churches confuse everything.
Well, Rick, I look at some of these pastors. I've heard some of them preach, and I wonder, how much do these guys really know?
Well, here's the bad news. The reason a doctor is a doctor is because they need their own healing, and a psychologist chooses psychology because they're the ones that are sick. And so while I seek help outside, Norm has it right. Norm Shealy is a great person. If I can be like him when I'm his age, I will feel like I have accomplished something important. And I have to give Norm space.
All right. Since you mentioned Norm Shealy, he was at the meetup last.
No. That's the other guy.
Yeah, Stormin Norman Cantwell is the guy that can take a person down in a second and a half. Dr. Norman Shealy is a medical doctor and 3 times PhD and Native American medicine man. And so I was having dinner with him on Monday at Jimmy's Egg at the meetup. And he and I were sitting in a booth, just the two of us, and we were talking about, what we're going to do at the meetup that night, in a couple minutes. As soon as he was done with dinner, he was going to speak. Well, he was talking about this new type of energy, Genesis energy. And when we come back, I'll tell you a little bit more about this energy. But he's invited me to experience this at his clinic, where light and sound and energy are all directed toward a person, and healing begins, repair of the body. And we'll talk a little bit more about that when we come back. Dr. Richard Allen Miller is with us. I'm Vincent Finelli. So on the second hour, I'd love to chat about cell phone radiation and gravity and healing with light and sound in it.
If the IRS has garnished your paycheck or seized money from your bank account, you need to get professional tax help now. Fast action is required to put a halt to these aggressive IRS collection tactics. You can count on the knowledgeable team of tax professionals at Wall & Associates. With over 30 years of experience, Wall & Associates has settled the tax problems of thousands of taxpayers for a small fraction of what they owed. For a free face-to-face consultation, call 1-800-425-4610 to put a wall between you and the IRS. 1-800-425-4610 or look for us on the web at wallandassociates.net. We solve tax problems. If you hire Wall & Associates today, you'll never have to talk to the IRS again. To stop the levies and seizures today, take action now. Call Wall & Associates at 1-800-425-4610. Wall & Associates, 1-800-425-4610. Based on actual cases, results may vary, not a solicitation for legal services.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
Hi, my name is DeRay, suffering from migraines, having Botox injections in my head and neck to alleviate pain, costing $1,500 out of my pocket. I discovered Dr. Ortman and Gentle Touch chiropractic adjustment called Nuka. I'm migraine-free since my first adjustment. Thanks for giving me my life back, Dr. Ortman. I wish they prescribed you instead of Botox.
Thanks, DeRay. Putting the bones back in place is only half of the solution. We design a nutritional supplement program the body can handle, actually absorb, providing nutrients, targeting the problem area. Between Nuka and nutrition, we will have you on the road to a faster and more permanent recovery. Look us up on the web at drortman.com or call 952-303-9124. Let us help you feel better faster. Wellspring Spinal Care at 952-303-9124. Again, that's 952-303-9124. Or on the web at drortman.com.
Everyone all set, cocked, locked? Here we go, hour number 2 of USAPrepares.com. I was looking at, Rick, I was looking at this pen that I bought I won't say a case of pens, but I bought a lot of pens for the Get Prepared Expo, and I had a few left. And we gave out notebooks and pens for some of the seminars. And this is a Bic pen, the kind I used when I was in elementary school when they first came out, Bic pens. Well, this looked kind of similar, but they replaced the full brass tip with just a tiny bit of brass and plastic that looks like brass. And then at the top it says Mexico. I I thought it was made in the United States. I mean, it's there. It's stamped right on it, but it's in a place where you just flat out can't see it. Mexico. So just more jobs leaving the United States. At least it's in North America, right? But heck.
Vincent, I have two important things that came up that I needed to share right now with you, and then we can move on. The first was that Tim Latimer visited me yesterday from Missouri. He went to Jimmy's Eggs. He was in the area. I got to meet Tim Latimer. I met him at that, and I just wanted to say I really enjoyed him, and I would enjoy others. If you're traveling out here to the West Coast, give me some lead time, and we'll have breakfast and others, and we'll vector. Now, he got to meet Steve, also known as SD, that's quantum botany, and this man just gave me what happened probably in Nebraska. It came through the chicken feed and goes into the egg that everybody eats and takes for granted as food. That's how they most likely, this guy's sharp. That's probably how it was vectored. I'm guessing that's happening across the board. And what they're doing today is checking vectors and how well they work or not work and how many casualties are made from it. They're doing a test like Jade Helm. The whole thing is moving to a totally different level of awareness and why you have your own chickens and you feed them. You know what I did my chickens with? I found a Blu-ray that had spent barley and promised them so many eggs for access. And I don't have chicken feed anymore, and I don't get it from who knows where that has had done who knows what to vector you know who. And so what I'm going to suggest is that's your layer of direction, is that you make your own feed so you know what your animals are eating. You start the food chain at your home.
Well, you're absolutely right. Now, Tim Latimer is a USA Prepares instructor. He instructs on welding, and he travels around the country. He's an expert in metallurgy, and so he's a really brilliant guy.
Oh, I like him.
He's taught several sessions at the meetup. So we have a very interesting faculty. Not all of the faculty is on the radio. Not all of the faculty is at the expo. Some of the faculty that not everyone gets a chance to know about is faculty of the meetup, and that's every Monday, and that's where Tim Latimer, Mike Wasson, Gene Lewis, and a bunch of others are present very, very often. So here's something that you said that was very interesting. You're talking about chicken feed. Well, what we do is we let the chickens eat the bugs, and it's a full-time job for these guys, racing around the farm, right around the house, looking for bugs. They eat greens, they eat bugs, and we do have to supplement with something, but that's what we're trying to grow, so we can be completely vertically integrated in our food system here at the farm. That is the plan. But Rick, you're absolutely right, and let me tell you a story about chickens. When I lived in Virginia, I had a very dear friend, and they were farmers. And she and her husband was in the chicken business. And what would happen is a chicken company like, we'll say Tyson, would provide the chicks and the chick feed and the design for the chicken houses. So what happens is a farmer would say, well, I think I'll raise some chickens. Tyson says, okay, here's the design of the hen house. Here's the way it goes. Here's the timetable. Here are the instructions. We'll provide the chicks. We'll provide the chick feed. You provide the water, the electricity. We'll help you get financing for these huge chicken houses or chicken barns. And then the chicks get delivered 49 days later. That's 7 weeks. Tyson comes and picks up the chickens. And then they get slaughtered and they become packaged for the supermarket. That's how it works. Well, I got a couple of these chicks, about 6 of them. And I thought, well, wouldn't it be great to have these chickens running around our farm? Well, here's what happened. A little after 49 days, they all died of heart attacks. They are designed, in my opinion, they are engineered, in my opinion, to live about 10 weeks, 70 days, and then they die. They are bred to be so heavy that they can't walk. These chickens cannot run around and eat bugs. They are not capable of doing it. They are not capable of moving. The only way they can move is by using their wings as legs. So they have their legs, which really can't support their weight. They use their wings to help push them around like oars on a boat. And then their wings start bleeding. And then 10 weeks later, they die. Upside down, heart attack. That's my analysis. So these are not the same. The chickens that we eat from the factory are not the same chickens that we have running around on our farm in Missouri. The chickens that we have running around our farm have lived for, some of them, for years, not 70 days. So there is a difference. Tyson provides the chicks. They're engineered. They all look the same. They're all white. And they provide the feed. So it's controlled. Tyson controls everything. And if the electricity goes down and those great big fans that cool the chicken factories, if they stop, the chickens overheat and die.
There's a video that you can watch that is actually, there's no voices. It's all just music. And in that, if you Google Sam Sora chicken seine, I'm guaranteeing you will no longer eat chicken. They show how they harvest chicken as a grain. And the metaphor of Tyson is typical of what we call multi-level or a multinational corporation. They're larger than our country. That means Tyson, for example, actually has more cash flow than the United States. How does that work? Well, he's working India, where there are more people. He's working, and so there is this movement to cross barriers, just like they did with the H5N1, only in other areas of metaphor. And illness is ever present everywhere in that sense of it. And so you need to not so much do like your grandpa did, but you're close, and you built your home. You're the third little pig. You built your home out of stone, and they could huff and puff. That's what the tornadoes are going to be about. And I'm going to tell you, everything is in metaphor. And if you start to say it, once you can see the metaphor, you know how it plays, because you know how the ending goes, and then you can either change the metaphor or go with it. But you have to know what you're looking for. And that's where metaphor is the bottom line, and that came from Greece. Now, that's another kind of science. They used to call it soft, but it isn't. It's just another way of looking at reality that actually allowed them to do things we can't.
You know, Rick, I've been on an adventure. I've decided I wanted to become even more self-reliant. And I've decided to buy a lathe and a mill.
Ooh, yes, my kind of plan.
Well,
yeah.
and here's what happened, Rick. I was in Springfield on Monday before Jimmy's Egg, and I stopped off at a machinist's supply house called Grizzly, and they have a lot of imported machines to make tools. And I wanted to buy a lathe, and there was a Mennonite guy there, and we were talking about lathes. And I said, "So, why are you interested in a lathe?" We just struck up conversation. We were talking about, we were looking at a South Bend lathe. It was made in Taiwan. And so I was asking him, why was he interested in one? And he said, well, we can't get the parts. We have these old buggies and, we have to make axles. They have to make their own axles now because they can't get the parts. So here we have, we think that the Amish, the Mennonite boy, they're going to be fine when society collapses. Well, no, they're not, because they need some parts and machines like we do. Maybe they're not interested in electricity. I'm not sure how they would power this lathe. Maybe they would power it with a diesel engine and a belt. But the bottom line is they need to make parts too. And so I said to the salesperson who offered to help me, I said, so are others buying lathes too? And he said, because I saw out of stock on a whole bunch of really nice lathes. And I'm thinking, since when are we out of stock on imported lathes, from China and Taiwan? Well, he said, farmers are buying these lathes because they need to make the gears, they need to make everything that going forward, because they believe that the supply chain is going to collapse. So it's not just me, and it's not just you, Rick. Others believe it too, and they're buying the parts to ensure their livelihoods will be. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration system and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Quantitative easing, unemployment at depression levels, Europe financial system falling apart, China getting out of U.S. treasuries. At the end of 2008, the time of TARP, the national debt was at $11 trillion, gold trading $850 per ounce. Close to 2012, the national debt exceeded $16.4 trillion, gold doubled to $1,600 per ounce. The $20 trillion threshold for the national debt is inevitable. Politicians in Washington have a ferocious appetite for spending and stimulus. What's worse, a printing press to finance. 100 years ago, we had a gold standard to limit this madness, but now you have to adopt your own gold standard. Don't be fooled with paper promises. Get Midas Resources 10 Reasons to Buy Gold free by calling 800-686-2237. Understanding the gold and silver market may be the only insurance you could have to avoiding the next economic crisis. Call 1-800-686-2237 and order your free copy. Again, that's 800-686-2237.
You've heard them on Alex Jones. You've seen them on Ancient Aliens. Now come see them live at Contact in the Desert 2015 in Joshua Tree this May. Experience 4 full days of science-centered lectures, workshops, intensives, and fieldwork on ancient astronauts, extraterrestrial intelligence, human origins, crop circles, contact experiences, UFO sightings, and more. Meet Chariots of the Gods author Eric von Daniken, Ancient Aliens host Giorgio A. Tsoukalos, New York Times bestselling author David Wilcock, Dead Doctors Don't Lie author Dr. Joel Wallach, astronauts Edgar Mitchell and Story Musgrave, Earth Files publisher Linda Moulton Howe, author Jim Mars, and many of the world's most respected researchers and scientists exploring answers to one of the greatest questions of all time. More speakers, more panels, more things to do. Join us at the Joshua Tree Retreat Center, which has a long history of sightings and contact experiences. For advance tickets and conference schedule, go to contactinthedesert.com. That is contactinthedesert.com.
The Genesis Communications Network is one of America's premier broadcasters of captivating talk radio. We thank you for listening. Now, just imagine, there are thousands of people who are just as passionate about radio as you are. But what you may not realize is how easy and affordable it is to advertise with us. Radio commercials for your business could be heard on hundreds of radio stations across the U.S. every day. We can help you by creating an effective radio advertising campaign for your company. From script writing to producing your commercial, just like the one you're listening to right now. No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us. And Rick, we have John from Texas. John, welcome.
Morning, gentlemen. Good morning.
Good morning.
You know what was interesting? You were talking about using the feed as a vector to contaminate or spread disease throughout a production of chickens or any other fowl, bird that might be raised or animals. I guess it could be used there. And I was thinking to myself, what a marketing ploy is you take some big multinational corporation that, let's say, wants to encroach into another multinational corporation's territory, and so they put out bad seed and wipe out, these chicken production plants, if you will, where they're raising the chicks, and then come in and say, "Oh, that's terrible. Listen, here's what we're going to do. We'll set you up," and just undercut. And so you can have two corporations battling for territory and market share, and everyone, the consumers and the farmers, pay the price. And it looks, obviously that there's no limit to how far they'll go to do that.
Well, here's one example of that. Exactly what you're talking about. In 1982, there were some murders that were committed by the manipulation of Tylenol. And I don't know if you remember that, but there was this big scare because cyanide was placed inside a bottle that was on the shelves of a store. So, do you remember that?
Absolutely.
And it almost took down the company. Because who in their right mind would buy Tylenol after that? So, if you extrapolate that, you're absolutely right. What a great way to destroy your competition. And that's what politicians do. Let me give you an example of that. In Springfield, Missouri, a guy who's a politician, he's running for office. Let's say he's a Democrat. And it doesn't matter whether he's Democrat or Republican, but let's say in this example, he's a Democrat. And he's being interviewed by the local talk show host in the morning. And everything's going fine, and they say, okay, let's take some calls. First call comes in, it says, and it's a Republican. But he doesn't announce he's a Republican. He just says, I really like what you've got to say. You make a lot of sense. As a matter of fact, I really like, some of your platform. But are those pedophilia charges, are they still pending?
Yeah.
So now the seed is planted in the minds of those who are listening that this Democrat who has some good ideas might be a pedophile. And it's impossible to fix that. And so what does he say? Absolutely not. No, there are no, what are you talking about? There are no charges like that. Then the talk show host is in a panic because he doesn't know what to do. It went out on the air. And how do I know this? Because a Republican, a high-ranking Republican, told me that's what they do.
Sure.
So I didn't get this from, conjecture. I got it from the horse's mouth. A high-ranking Republican said, this is what they do. So when you talk about, modifying the chicken feed, absolutely, it seems like a way that certainly could be done. Our CIA, NSA, those guys could be involved in protecting American interests and destroying competition.
Well, I mean, I had the same on the thing that I had the FBI spread terrible rumors about me because of an incident that I was involved in. And, that my wife had left me and I had a psychotic break and all this business. And, and I knew these guys. These are guys I worked with. And I called one of them up and I said, what are you doing? What are you doing? And he just goes, I'm just following orders.
Yeah.
They call that Nuremberg. Accountability.
And I said, I'm an enemy you didn't want to make, and you just did it. Mm-hmm. And he goes, what's that mean? And I said, well, I'll follow my orders.
Okay. John, you want to talk about lathes also?
Well, I was just talking like a little bit, on lathes and doing all that. That is such a skill to learn that I know they used to teach it in high school.
Rifle, drill press, drill bits.
I imagine there's probably not many high schools have an operating lathe.
Are we on break? Okay, I didn't hear it. Okay, hey John, we are on a commercial break. So, can you hold that thought? I'll bring you back for a minute or two on the other side of the break, okay?
Fast action is required to put a halt to these aggressive IRS collection tactics. You can count on the knowledgeable team of tax professionals at Wall & Associates. With over 30 years of experience, Wall & Associates has settled the tax problems of thousands of taxpayers for a small fraction of what they owed. For a free face-to-face consultation, call 1-800-425-4610 to put a wall between you and the IRS. 1-800-425-4610 or look for us on the web at wallandassociates.net. We solve tax problems. If you hire Wall & Associates today, you'll never have to talk to the IRS again. To stop the levies and seizures today, take action now. Call Wall & Associates at 1-800-425-4610. Wall & Associates, 1-800-425-4610. Based on actual cases, results may vary, not a solicitation for legal services.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Hey neighbor, what are you doing digging? You had a heart attack last year.
Oh, I know. I was told no more hard labor.
Then why are you digging?
Well, I've been taking Extendovite. It's been approved to help my heart.
Extendovite? Is that a new drug?
No, not a drug. It's more like an herbal combination made from garlic and cayenne.
Herbal? How can that help?
Well, actually, we've taken herbs for thousands of years. Extendovite is doing the job for me.
Does your doctor know about Extendovite?
Yeah, my doctor knows, and he said it seems to be working for you, so don't stop taking it. I feel great taking Extendovite. I don't want to stop.
To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
We all know that Berkey water purification systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water filtration systems. The Berkey Light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at goberkey.com. That's goberkey.com today.
If you constantly feel run down and tired, your pH level might be low and your body could be full of toxins. If what you drink is not at a pH level of 8 or higher, you are inviting bacteria and acid to thrive in your body. But there is something you can do. Simply add 10 drops of AlkaVision Plasma pH drops to your water to help your body rid itself of acidic waste, increase oxygen, and raise your pH balance to optimum levels. AlkaVision Plasma pH drops combine a unique formula of the most alkaline minerals in the world, alkalizing the water you drink, ridding your body of acidic waste and toxins, and helping you regain energy and vibrant health. And studies show viruses, bacteria, and toxins cannot survive in an alkaline, high pH environment. Order your bottle of AlkaVision Plasma pH drops at alkavision.com. That's ALKA vision.com. Or call 269-409-1776. 269-409-1776. Alkalize your body. Supercharge your health at alkavision.com today.
Last Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us. John is on the line, and Eve is coming up next. John, can you continue what you're saying about the lathes?
Yeah, I mean, we don't see it taught in public school, but while we were on the break, I had a little sort of epiphany. With these homeschoolers, if you had men, people who could teach lathe and mechanical skills to these homeschool kids as part of their education.
What a great way to go. So if class, if you are an experienced machinist and you'd like to become an instructor at usapreparedness.com, please call me, 417-462-1105, 417-462-1105. That's our phone number at the farm. And also, if you are a winemaking aficionado, if you like making wine and beer and you'd like to teach us how to do it on the class, I'd like to know about that too. And so would the rest of our class. And if you're into distillation and you'd like to teach us about that, we're interested in that too. So winemaking, beer making, distillation, and machining. Please continue, John.
All righty. But what? That was boom. Hello. But, I mean, if you had, the guy could have a little shop somewhere and the kids meet at the shop and...
Well, wait, I got a better one. All farmers. That's what they do in the winter. That means to be a farmer, you have to be a polymath. You have to be skilled in animal husbandry, welding, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It isn't just a single line thing. Oh, guess what? That's what they do in high school. They separate blue collar from white and have machine shop. And the whole thing starts with education. And I just had another epiphany like yours, where I realized that the red pill and the yellow pill and blue pill, matrix pill, all is another cattle feed or chicken feed. And the way they could vector diseases, because the crap that they're giving you now as antibiotics is it's creepy.
Well,
it's not
John,
antibiotics
thanks.
anymore. Oh, this is resistant to that terramycin, so now we're going to give you moxicillin, and we're going to wait. We're going to move it over to da-da-da. Listen, it's no longer about antibiotics and antivirals and da-da-da-da-da-da. It's about a way you train your mind. That's your machine shop.
John, thanks so much for the call.
Yeah, I liked him. He's smart. No, I did. I liked his style and presentation.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Eve from California, you're on with Dr. Richard Allen Miller and me, Vin Finelli. Welcome.
Hello. Good morning, gentlemen. Just tuning in on what you guys were talking about earlier as far as, tainting food and so on and so forth. If people will remember, I don't know if it was about 5, 6, 7, 10 years ago, when they did the same thing to the hamburger industry.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You talking about Jack in the Box?
It and, the biggest producer of beef in the United States was bought out for pennies on the dollar because of all the tainted food. I mean, you could go on and on with all the tainted food. I remember when I used to be able to buy orange juice that wasn't pasteurized at Costco. And Costco would stand there and take their oranges and, squeeze them right in front of you, put them in a bottle and sell it to you, and then all of a sudden, couldn't do that anymore because things are getting tainted. Look at what they did to the almonds in California. Same thing. It got tainted with salmonella. Spinach, same thing. It's underhandedly going in and throwing in some, toxic whatever into the ground, into the water, and then all of a sudden the farmers, lose all their crops. Everything gets called back. Prices go up. And now we're doing the same thing with the eggs because they're going to knock out the smaller farmers. And here comes the big industry to take over. I can remember they did the same thing with the pigs up in Utah. I have a friend that's up there that actually petitioned on it. They came in, the big farmers, took over all the area, all the slop went downhill. The smaller farmers complained that the big industries were not cleaning up their messes. And guess who won? The big guys. Again and again. What we need to do is stop buying their food.
Well, I can tell you, Eve, there's no disagreement from me, and I'm sure that Rick Miller would agree. But part of the problem is the people, the consumers who are going along with the big industry. They're not uprising, and that's where some of our black friends have taught us some lessons. They have been protesting about the killing, the tasing, the wounding, the handcuffing, the arresting, that's going on in among the blacks by the blue plague, and they have taught us that they're leading by example. They're protesting. Why is not everyone protesting about these things, about these crimes that are committed by our politicians? For example, you're talking about tainted meat. How does that happen? Aren't these guys supposed to oversee our food supply? They're obviously falling down on the job, or they're taking bribes. So where is the protection of the people by the system, the same system that the people are paying for the protection? It's outrageous. So the only way that I can think of to stop this is to single out everyone, one at a time, single them out, make them famous for the crimes that they are committing against us.
Well, that would be your show. That would be one place to start, or there's many places out there, but when you're talking about the blacks rising up, I think it was fantastic what they did in Baltimore. Some of the Crips and Bloods and whoever, got together, and instead of, contributing to the problem, they said, no crime, Everybody be peaceful, calm down, even people were out there cleaning up streets. So the opposite happened as opposed to what they were trying to incite, which is, fighting, shooting, killing, tearing down buildings, setting fire, so on and so forth. So they're getting the message, and the rest of us need to follow that message.
Eve, you're in California, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Are you seeing a decline in the economy that we're seeing here in Missouri and other states?
Are you kidding? Unbelievable. People are
I just thought
you can't afford to live here.
Okay, I just thought I'd
go up. the economy, goes down. And, these numbers, these fictitious numbers that they put out there that, unemployment is going down and people are getting more jobs. Those jobs are part-time jobs. If you look up online, you can see that the sector of people that are going back to work on part-time jobs are the older group of people that have been laid off from their 50,000 on up paying jobs. They just need a job, and they're willing to work because they got mortgages to pay. Right. Whereas the younger kids that are coming out of college, they don't want to take those jobs. They want to go home and they're living with mom and dad. It's just, they're turning, the establishment that is supposedly, representing Washington. Come on, let's, face facts here. We got a hidden government here. The ones that everybody thinks they voted in is not really working for you and I. They're working for,
Eve,
the corporatocracy. So,
Eve, I've been trying to buy a metal lathe for months now.
I heard you. I heard that.
And I explained why. I want to be able to make the parts that I don't think I'm going to be able to get in the future. I can tell you that I have called several people during the commercials of this 2-hour broadcast. I found some of these items on Craigslist. I'd call them up, and they're sold. All of the ones that are reasonably priced, I'm not saying are great deals, I'm just saying reasonably priced, every one of them is sold. The only ones that aren't sold are the ones that are overpriced and the ones that are junk. What I'm saying is that farmers are buying these. People are buying these because they want to protect their livelihoods. They want to protect their family's future. And this is just another defense against the system that they see is collapsing around them. This is just one more example. And if you look at farmers, and Rick said it, they have to know a lot about a lot of different things. And they look up and they look down. So if you're wondering, what lead to follow, I would say talk to your farmer friends and ask them what they see as going on. And they'll tell you what they see, and you may want to follow their lead in terms of your own preparedness for survival. So, Eve, are you saying you're moving from California?
It's quite possible. It's very possible.
Well, you know what? Actually, if you were from California, you wouldn't have said almond. You would have said almond. I'm just kidding.
Well, you're in California too, aren't you?
No, I'm not. I'm not in California. And Oregonians do look down on Californians, but I'm from Washington, and we look down on Oregonians. So imagine me down here with Ku Klux Klan.
Oh, I tell you, you have to dodge bullets left and right, no matter what you do anymore in the United States. These guys are taking over, and like I said, you got to sidestep here, there.
No, it isn't guys. There's some women out there doing it too.
Yeah, there's some women too. Yeah,
let's not be too sexist now here. Guys.
Well, you just, you've got to watch what you eat. I go to farmers markets. I buy, as much organic food as possible.
The reason you go to farmers markets is because you know the individual that grew that food, and you know his pattern. And that's why you go to farmers market.
Eve, thanks so much for your call. We're going into a break.
Really.
Dr. Richard Allen Miller is with us. RichardAllenMiller.com. Richard, A-L-A-N, Miller.com. I'm Vin Finelli. We'll be right back. By now, you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online And we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
I'm Vincent Finelli of USAPrepares.com. As most of you know, I broadcast weekday mornings on GCN from 9 to 11. And I'm also a full-time farmer. Add to that mix the weekly meetups and the Get Prepared Expo, and this combination makes for a demanding schedule. On the farm, we raise grass-fed Black Angus cattle and provide them with the best variety of summer and fall grasses available. Our cattle are exposed to the extremes of weather, the toxins in the air, and the electromagnetic radiation that's all around us. So even the best grasses and food that we provide are not enough. Our cattle require minerals and supplements for strong health and resistance to disease. And so do we. For these reasons, my mother, our children, Mrs. Finelli, and I all take Longevity, Beyond Tangy Tangerine, De-Stress, Glucogel, and EFA+. USAPreparesTeam.com. And thank you for being in class today.
Hi, John Hubner from Midas Resources. Are you tired of watching your hard-earned assets dwindle away? As government spending is out of hand and the Federal Reserve is creating in excess of $20 billion a week, are you tired of stockbrokers gambling away your hard-earned money? Is this market a setup for a crash greater than 1987? Too many of today's policies resemble those that led to the collapse of 1929. This is John Hubner, and that was me in 2007. And we all know what happened when the subprime credit bubble burst. By March 2009, the dollar lost 50% of its value. The entire U.S. banking system was on the verge of collapsing. Like all financial problems of the past, is history about to repeat itself? Call me, John Hubner, at 1-800-686-2237, extension 129, before it's too late to protect yourself. Will the oncoming catastrophe take all private IRAs, 401ks with it? There is a way to protect your hard-earned assets. Call me, John Hubner, at 1-800-686-2237, extension 129.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Block-It Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockItPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockItPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockItPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
KDArmor.com is your one-stop shop for the most affordable body armor period, with packages starting at $169.99 and free shipping on every order. KD offers soft armor and rifle threat rated armor up to level 4. Go to KDArmor.com and get your body armor today while you still can. Mention this ad and receive a free tactical scarf for a limited time with any body armor package. That's CATIarmor.com. Come and take it.
Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us, Richard, ALAN Miller.com. Rick, I was starting to talk about energy genesis as discussed by Dr. Norman Shealy, and it includes electrical, sound, and light therapy. And so Norm Shealy has invited me to experience this at his clinic. So I'm interested in doing it, and he talks about how these frequencies, the light frequencies, the sound frequencies, and the electrical frequencies invigorate the body to the point where natural healing is promoted. Have you heard of any of those kinds of techniques?
Yeah, Dr. Gary Buchanan did his doctoral thesis under me in 1974 at the University of Washington with Sona, using sound and light and resonant cavity oscillators. He was in music school, and they had to have an outside on his review panel in physics, because rather than being music, he spent it in the medical library. He's now running, he wrote a book called Sona, S-O-N-A, and he's out of Steamboat Springs Healing Center in Reno, Nevada. Now, he's a little religious for my case, but his therapy forms, you look at cymatics that have beat and color, and it does resonant cavity oscillations, which I did with the military, and there it is. We're now starting to make breakthrough in how to use sound and light. Did you know that one of the Bibles actually talks about the sound part of it and the Sefer Yetzirah that somehow has been forgotten? It's gematria, what they call numerology, and it related sounds to words and how the volumes and tones and pitches change. That's in Chinese. I did Mandarin 1, and just the inflection of the same word changes the entire meaning.
So, Rick, are we saying that there is a potential to cure diseases that we're experiencing now with these technologies? Is that what?
Oh, sure. I saw Bones do it on Star Trek. You know, there it is. So
yeah, but that was television. Hollywood. Yeah, that was television. So, are you saying that there is there? What about cancer?
About what?
Cancer.
Cancer is a mistake that the body makes when it's millions of reproduction. We have cancer all the time. What you do not want to do is have it make the same mistake continually. And so what you do is you isolate it before it can metastasize and whatever. That cancer is always present. You're making mistakes. I make mistakes just in the way I behave. And so that's a cancer. Actually, there's a website that you might enjoy to take you off into Netherland. How about Lucifer.com? That's a good site to visit. A bunch of anthropologists got together and suggested that ideas are viruses. See, we're being assaulted on all levels, and you got to look at the bigger picture. And a farmer is not a farmer. What he is sovereign, because he does everything in-house.
You know, I think you hit the nail right on the head, Rick, because that's what I am. I mean, and you look at
not about
the
farming,
faculty.
it's about being a closed system.
Mm-hmm. You look at the faculty of USA Preparers, and we're all that way. I mean, we are all independent thinkers. We are all sovereigns, and we just don't take direction well from people who want to tell us what to do and push us around and steal from us. We don't like it, and we fight back. And I think it's going to be the farmers who are going to lead a lot of us in the right direction.
That's right. That's right.
Because we have no choice. We literally have no choice. There's no place for a farmer to go. We have to figure it out ourselves. And one of the things that what farmers need to do, which we're not doing very well, is we need to help each other. So if I have a field that's not growing right, wouldn't it be nice if a farmer drove by and pulled into my farm and said, "Hey, Vinny, I'll tell you what.
If I
that
got
field
a
over
farm
there,
and I called it Green Acres, do I get Zsa Gabor?
Yeah. Well, it'd be nice if farmers would.
You can have fun with the whole thing. It doesn't have to be.
Hey, Rick, we're out of time. We're out of time. Class, above all, honesty and integrity. What happens next is up to you. Rick, thanks so much for being with us.
You pick up the receiver with your heart racing and sweat dripping from your forehead. You finally muster the courage to dial the number to call into your favorite talk radio show. It rings once, twice, and then
Hello, it's GCN. What's your name and the state you're calling from?
Surprised you got through, you squeak out.
Jason from Minnesota.
Please hold.
As you patiently wait for your turn, you begin to daydream about being a famous talk radio host and what it would be like to have your own show.
Jason from Minnesota, you're up.
Millions of loyal listeners worldwide waiting to call and talk to you.
Caller, are you there?
Cheering crowds surround you, calling out your name.
Jason! Jason! Going once, twice. Okay, we gotta move on to the next caller.
You blew it.
Huh? Wait, no!
Interact with the host you're listening to right now, online at GCNlive.com. Click on the community link. Engage with other listeners. Ask questions. Start debates. Don't agree with the host? Let them know. Be a part of the community at GCNlive.com.
You've heard them on Alex Jones. You've seen them on Ancient Aliens. Now come see them live at Contact in the Desert 2015 in Joshua Tree this May. Experience 4 full days of science-centered lectures, workshops, intensives, and fieldwork on ancient astronauts, extraterrestrial intelligence, human origins, crop circles, contact experiences, UFO sightings, and more. Meet Chariots of the Gods author Eric von Daniken, Ancient Aliens host Giorgio A. Tsoukalos, New York Times bestselling author David Wilcock, Dead Doctors Don't Lie author Dr. Joel Wallach, astronauts Edgar Mitchell and Story Musgrave, Earth Files publisher Linda Moulton Howe, author Jim Mars, and many of the world's most respected researchers and scientists exploring answers to one of the greatest questions of all time. More speakers, more panels, more things to do. Join us at the Joshua Tree Retreat Center, which has a long history of sightings and contact experiences. For advance tickets and conference schedule, go to contactinthedesert.com. That is contactinthedesert.com.